Our next story is about scams, cyber scams. They're worth $3 trillion a year. And Southeast Asia has become a hub for them. This is according to the Interpol, that's International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol. It is headquartered in France and it has been tracking the rise in cybercrime. Yesterday, their chief was in Singapore. He said cyber scam gangs are making up to $3 trillion every year. 3 trillion. The number is ridiculous. There are only 7 countries that have a GDP higher than this. Country number 8 is Italy, and Italy's GDP is about $2.1 trillion, which means either the cyber gangs are making more than sovereign nations, or this number is an exaggeration. The 3 trillion amount is not just proceeds from cybercrime. It counts earnings from drug trafficking, illegal arms sales, car theft, basically every crime that you can think of. Organized criminals are making $3 trillion every year across all their activities. Only a part of this is cybercrime, but that does not make it less of a threat. Cybercrime is growing rapidly, and a lot of this is down to cryptocurrencies. You may have heard of pig butchering. Pig butchering, it's a term used to describe a popular crime these days. Studies say that billions have been lost to pig butchering scams. Now, for those of you who don't know, here's how it works. Scammers get in touch with the victim online. They often target lonely people with promises of friendship or love. And many people were lonely during the pandemic-era lockdown, so they became easy prey for the scammers. These people build a bond and then convince the victims to invest in cryptocurrencies. They will give links to fake cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, these may look like legitimate apps or websites. You may not be able to tell a fake crypto exchange from a real one. After all, even the real ones are full of numbers and charts and random figures. How hard is that to replicate, especially by a multi-billion-dollar organization? So the scam victims invest their life savings, and they're shown great returns. The money keeps increasing, and the victims often invest more.
As you make astronomical amounts of money trading, it messes with your normal risk perception, I think. You start getting like somewhat high off of it. So you feel like, wow, I can do even more. I can do even more.
Everything looks great until the victims want to cash out. Then the money and the scammer both disappear. This approach, slowly grooming the victim, is like fattening a pig for slaughter. And that is why the scam is called pig butchering. And these scammers are sitting in Southeast Asia. But here's the catch. These scammers are often victims too. Foreigners who've been kidnapped by the cyber gangs, who've had their passports confiscated and forced to work in the scam centers to try and buy back their freedom. It's a form of modern slavery. And tens of thousands are being enslaved thus.
Unbelievable. We're talking about tens of thousands of people, 120,000 victims, human trafficking victims, sent into these centers to operate these scams, these international scams. And they're reaching the entire world. Victims giving up billions of dollars that are being used to fuel these atrocities as a result of these scam centers.
The United Nations says over 120,000 people were trafficked last year in countries like Myanmar, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and the Philippines. The victims come from around the world. Scammers lure them by promising high-paying jobs. Some people are kidnapped while on vacation, and then they're forced to work in these scam centers under threat of physical harm.
I tried to escape 4 times within about 20 days. I got beaten really badly every couple of days. That's how it was. But as long as I survived the beatings, I would try to escape.
Cybercrime gangs are expanding their operations. They're kidnapping and enslaving people to fuel this growth. So how can we stop them? Well, part of the responsibility falls on the Southeast Asian governments. They need to crack down on the criminal syndicates. And organizations like Interpol can help provide intelligence. These crackdowns have started taking place already, but a government-led cleanup will take time. And it's unlikely to eradicate these syndicates completely. So the best we can do at the moment is to be careful. If a person you've never met talks to you about crypto, run in the opposite direction.